Come together making millions. Get the motor ready for the bike night race. Brag about my bike and put some dollars in your face.
What's up, everyone?
What up?
What's going on, everybody? Hopefully everyone's doing well, man. Let's get it.
What's up? That didn't go good at all, man. I think we got too many channels going on here, but it is what it is. Welcome to the Beat Cam, baby. We got Mike Ball, Danny D'Lo, China Dow. What's up, China?
Hi, how you guys doing?
What's good, everybody?
We chilling.
How's everybody on this fabulous, crappy, rainy evening?
Not happy. Not happy.
Dude, we live in a bipolar freaking atmosphere here, don't we? Jesus.
Sure do.
This is insane, this weather.
Speak for yourselves. Over here in California, it's like a perfect 70.
Okay, shut up then.
You're a perfect 70 over there?
I think it's about a 70 right now.
Holy shit, man.
Must be nice.
I lied. It's currently 64 right now. It was 67 earlier.
Well, welcome everybody. Appreciate you guys coming in. We're going to be talking about the insurrection, if it was real or not, and also the stuff that's happening over in France later on the show. We're going to start off with China Dow right now. What's up, China? What do you got going on in the news today? So all of us can make fun of you forgetting what the hell you did.
Well, you're rude. Anyways, I got something very interesting that isn't your typical Bloody Mary. A waitress has been fired from a restaurant after allegedly creating its cocktail with her own blood at the request of a paying customer.
Nice. Nice.
Of course, the restaurant.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious.
Was her name Mary?
No, actually, she's Japanese.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's her name. I can't pronounce it, so I'm not even going to go for it. But she said the management says that is completely, absolutely not acceptable in their restaurant, but the customer requested it and paid for it.
What do you think about that one, Mikey? Would you drink her?
No, not like if she like had to like open, like slice her finger to like, drain some blood in there. I don't know if you could pay me enough to do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about any of that.
Can't you like get AIDS that way?
Yeah,
Danny?
I was about to say,
I would think
there's
so.
so many diseases and like people, like I don't want to drink your terrible, come on, man. Smegma, no thanks.
Well, basically, any drink that she was making for this customer that would usually use fruits or syrups, instead she would replace it with her blood. And yes, she would cut herself right then and there and squeeze her blood into his beverage.
What is it, like this vampire crap going on or something?
Something's crazy. All
Did they
I know
tell
is
you?
That's pretty dedicated to the drinks, you know.
I want to know how much they were charging for this.
it does not say. But it does specifically state that she did dress in gothic fashion and wearing dark clothes, dark makeup, and they think that she is a little bit mentally unstable.
Is she the one mentally unstable or the one's drinking it, seeing it?
There's two sides to this story for sure.
Well, as I scroll down on this lovely story, it specifically states to answer your question, all you can drink for $19 starting rate.
Oh. Hey, Chase, man, you know you can get HPV out of that, right?
I already messed with Chase earlier on his TikTok live, putting that in there.
Did you guys ever know anybody? And like, I heard that stuff happened in high school, but I never.
What, drinking blood?
Yeah, people would slit the girl's finger and.
Ew, no, never heard of it. You got issues.
No.
What college? What high school were you at?
Yeah, you were in the pretty one while we were in the ghetto.
So they did that in the ghetto. Danny, please concur.
We were hungry.
No. I don't know what hood you from, bro. Not mine.
We hungry out there, we poor. We're not like you rich. Unbelievable. That is.
Ooh-wee.
I mean, I just thought that'd be a good way to start the show. You know, we're talking
It's like,
about
what?
the
Do
Bloody
they
Mary.
believe that they're actual vampires or something?
Must be.
You
Big
know,
fans.
you get this weird news stuff, man.
I know, you're right. And I get them all from our people that are lovely people that watch our show. So you're welcome.
That's the best part about the whole thing. To be
I get
quite honest, is that it
I
comes from all of you guys.
I get all this stuff sent.
Hey,
to me.
Mike, man, let me ask you a question.
Let's hear it.
If she was a bomb ass broad,
Okay.
I'm talking bomb, and then she was going to take you home that night as long as you drink one of her Bloody Marys, would you?
Depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Depends on the situation, but I'm gonna be quite frank. I don't need to drink no bloody person's finger stuff in order to get with somebody. You know, I don't need to do that. You know, I mean, it's a situation though. I mean, people get freaky. I don't know.
Can I ask you something, Mike?
Yeah, let's hear it.
You're what, 29 years old?
I'm 28. Yeah.
28. Have you ever earned your Red Wings?
Not correctly. Not correctly.
Wait a minute. Is there an incorrect way?
Yes, there is an incorrect way, and that's without a witness.
I feel like I need to talk about this later. Okay.
By the way, everybody, Mike's new nickname we came up with it is Baby Huey. Baby Huey.
You just accept the things you cannot change.
That is true.
So, in other news, Montana lawmakers gave final passage Friday to a bill banning the social media app TikTok from operating in their state. They are the first state to pass a bill to get rid of TikTok.
Man.
Welcome to boring Montana.
What do you think about that, Mike?
They're really running with this whole TikTok thing. They totally took this and were able to. I didn't think they were going to go state by state on any of this, but this is incredible. It's a reach for sure. I mean, I personally don't like the platform TikTok at all. I know it's ran and it's got the whole thing in China and all that stuff. And yes, I don't necessarily agree with all of that and how that runs, but man, I don't think TikTok is out to like. There's a lot of platforms, but TikTok is a good platform too, man. I mean, they're just trying to gain control over everybody. I think local that they're feeling like I have to do something, you know, and maybe they're the first ones to do it, and the rest of the country will follow. Maybe that's how they feel. They'll put into things in a perspective for the country, but I hope they don't. The rest of the country does not follow on that.
What about you, Danny? I know damn well you've been having problems with TikTok. What do you think about them actually getting banned in Montana?
I think TikTok should be banned from this whole country, personally. Just by, you know, what they've been doing to so many creators on there. I'm not the only creator that's been blocked and banned and had his money still stolen from him and unrightfully kicked off their platform multiple times. I'm not the only guy. And you know what, if you can't, I mean, in this day and age, unfortunately, I understand we cannot say everything that we want to say publicly. I'm okay with that. But when I do a video saying, "Good morning, Hollywood, how are you?" and because somebody's a hater and don't like me, reports my video, and TikTok then will automatically take my video down. And then when I appeal it, they'll say, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're fine. You know, you didn't do nothing in your video." And they'll give you your video back and it'll be open for views by everybody again. But it still counts as a check mark against you. Like, I mean, how do you win with that? You know, it's ridiculous. It's a shitty platform, in my opinion.
How do you win against that, Chinatown?
It's hard to, because I've had TikTok videos taken down saying that I was like half naked, and I'm always fully clothed in my videos. And it takes them, for mine, like a couple of mine that they took down, it took like a week or two before I even was given the option to have my video back. And then by that point, I already deleted it off my page and said, I don't even care.
Mhm.
I
So
mean,
you're half
it's,
naked on TikTok? Man, I knew I should have went back on there.
I guess. I mean, it's kind of, it does get aggravating. I mean, yeah, I still post a crap ton of videos. I mean, I've posted probably 10 in the past 2 days, but
Mm.
it's stupid because you just get one person that reports you.
Hey, Mike, you know, you thought it was not cool to do it, but what about the fact behind it that this is linked to the Chinese government? Somebody who could spy on your personal information, know everything about you. What about that?
I think China's got all the information on me that they probably got before they had on TikTok. You know, your information's sold everywhere. I mean, it's been sold a million times. Facebook's been sued for how many times for selling our information out to everybody in the world. When it comes to that TikTok banning censorship stuff that you guys were just talking about, I've had many experiences of that. I can't almost post any of my amputation stuff or any of my injuries, and I can't post a lot of the stuff of me riding because it actually marks it as dangerous activity.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I don't agree with the actual platform itself, just because of the amount of censorship. You say anything wrong, you're automatically off of that thing.
I
So
did a
you don't-
live
I'm
once on my
scared to even
bike.
upload to
Same
anything.
thing.
I'll be like, nah, I'm not even gonna upload to this thing anymore.
Danny's been through hell with that TikTok thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've had, well, my first account, and now mind you, my first account when I went on there a couple of years ago, you didn't have a lot of biker content on there. You almost didn't have anything on there. It was mainly guys in different clubs, 1% Club included, doing some dances and some voiceovers and like fun stuff like that, you know, goofing around. But there wasn't a lot of people like talking about the lifestyle or anything like that. And so I kind of saw that window of opportunity and I opened it, started doing my thing, and I blew up like within a month. I had almost 70,000 subscribers. It was like 68,000 or something like that. And then, I mean, the minute I got to that point, they took my account. So I'm like, okay, now I know what not to do. So then I opened up a new one, Danny D'Lo Official. That one got taken down in 2 months. The minute I got up to like around 48,000 subscribers, boom, they took that one down. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? I'm like, all right. So I started my third one, and I was doing good with that one. I had that one for about a year, and it seemed like, okay, I'm good, I'm straight. But then some haters got involved, and here we go again. And I'm like, well, I started a new account because I was going to go back on there, but then I think 2 videos on there. I did one saying I was back. I did another video addressing some little punk hater. And then after that, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be on this platform no more. It's too much drama. It's like high school, it's just, and for what? It's not like I'm going to get paid from it, because by the time I get paid, they're going to take my account and my money anyway. So it's like, there's just no point.
What do you think, China, about what Cody said? You ban one thing, other things are going to follow.
Well, I think the whole thing is getting ridiculous. I mean, it doesn't matter what social media you're on, because everybody and anybody has access to your personal information. You can just Google somebody's name and find out things you need to know. So it's like, I don't even think twice about this China owns thing, whatever. I don't care. I'm out there trying to have fun.
I'm
And
the same way with the China thing.
it's a First Amendment right, freedom of speech. Let us just have fun and do our thing. Who cares? I mean, I get it. Like, the first thing that they're doing in Montana, the first thing that they're setting across is the fact that they're prohibiting it from all government devices. I get that. If you're going to have that app, then have it on your personal device. Don't have it on your work phone.
Mm.
or your work laptop, tablet, whatever. Have it on your personal stuff. Don't have it on your work stuff.
Well, you guys and gals, let us know what you guys think in the comments section. We're going to go to the next segment with Mike Ball. We'll be right back, baby.
Subscribe to China Doll's
Mike Ball
Viper
coming
Pit to
up.
get your dose of the world according to China Doll. Real and honest opinions on what's happening in the world today. Join the Queen Viper and take a walk on the wild side of life on China Doll Viper Pit on YouTube today.
What's going on, everybody? It's BV, also known as BV the Amputee, Mike Ball, whatever you guys want to call me, Ball Valve TV on all platforms. Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate every single one of you guys. My little segment is going to be about perseverance, and I really enjoy being able to talk about other people that have been able to turn something that's been so tragic and traumatizing into a good thing. And today I'm going to talk about a buddy of mine who I've actually got in touch with by Hollywood and China Doll. I had a fan of the show named Mark, who's become now a great friend. We ended up just exchanging. I just told him a little bit about who I was, because I asked for the information from those two. And I just messaged him and I just said, hey, is it okay if I talk to you about this? You know? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And me and Mark ended up talking for a little bit. And this is in his very early stages of amputation. You know, he lost his leg during a motorcycle accident. And just like me, you know, below the knee, left leg. And I saw when he went down, and I saw the amount of trauma that it caused him. And so me and him, we immediately talked on, like, we chatted on FaceTime, and we really had, like, I don't know, probably a good hour and a half, 2 hour conversation. And I got to tell my story. He got to tell his story. And I really think that it helps him and myself and anybody that really talks about their story that can, basically relate to each other, not just someone that can understand, but somebody that can really relate with you. Throughout the last few months, I have just watched this man continuously get better, be better, go through pain. And it's one of those things where you go 3 steps forward, 2 back, you know, 2 forward, 1 back. It's nonstop issues back and forth. And that's what I love about the kind of community that we've brought together, of, like, not just amputations. It's everybody that's been through trauma. You know, we kind of come together and we really help each other out in time of need, of, like, hey, what did you do when this happened to you? And, like, yeah, all right, I had to readjust this. I had to go to the doctor. I didn't have to do that. I got to do this, whatever. And we kind of bounce ideas off each other, and we're always able to learn. And I'm just really proud of this man. I'm really proud of him going through the things that he has. He ultimately, we got on the phone, and he wanted to get back on a motorcycle, and he saw my Instagram and was like, yeah, I mean, obviously you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no problem. And that was something that really put a big smile on my face, and something that I believe that I've been put on this planet and on this earth to do since this has happened to me. I'm very honored.
By the way, Mike, Mark's in the chat
Mark's
room
in the
right
chat
now.
room. I sent him the link.
Oh, wow, Mark. And just, it's outstanding. It's absolutely outstanding to see how he's just persevered, and he still has complications, you know, and it's still a back and forth thing, you know. There's surgeries that are involved, multiple surgeries that go involved to a lot of these things, you know. Luckily for me, I only had to do 4 surgeries, and that was it. Some people have to go through 20, 30, 40 surgeries to get it to the point where they can even walk, you know, in situations like ourselves. So I'm very stoked that I'm going to be able to talk about more in depth about this in further episodes. But I do want to hear more about your guys' on the panel here. I want to hear Hollywood, if you've heard, anybody recently or anybody that you want to personally talk about, or anybody that you guys or yourselves have accomplished through any sort of traumatic event, any sort of trauma,
Oh
stuff like
man,
that.
I can throw that over to China Doll. And first of all, I think it's great that you guys are getting into talking with each other, because Mark, he wouldn't be able to talk to me about it because I would not know what to say to him. That's why we got him in contact with you, because you've been
That's
there,
right.
done. So
That's
it's
right.
first of all, it's hard unless you're going through something to talk to somebody. And that's the same thing with our grandkid with the spina bifida. These little kids are warriors where I'd crack down and cry. But I just think it's just so awesome that the internet, it has good, it has bad. And that's one of the good things, because I don't think without the internet, Mark would have been able to get a hold of you.
And all I can say is, as far as Mark's concerned, we've been following each other on TikTok for a while. And when I first heard of his accident, the first thing I thought of was, hey, Hollywood, how do I get him in contact with Mike? I got to get this.
How does that make you grow as a person, Mike? Having, be able to talk to somebody that's going through what you went through. How does that make you grow?
It makes me grow just as much as the person on the other side. I've been blessed in this opportunity of the situation that I'm in, where I was put into a good light, and I was able to show that you could still live a very meaningful, fulfilling life. And I had the people around me to help me do that as well. But ultimately, it's very amazing to feel like I'm doing the thing that I initially set out to do. Is I said to myself, I need to be bedside with the people that are in question. That was the heaviest thing, like from day one, because I know what it feels like to lay in that bed, and you're laying in that bed going, I mean, the doctors are coming in going, you have a 20% chance of walking again. You may die a couple of more times while you're in here in the ICU. I've been there, done that. So I know how it feels. And I love being as much as I can throughout this social media stuff. This is the good stuff that you were talking about, is I have people that will hit me up on Instagram and will be like, hey man, I just got into a motorcycle accident, blah, blah, blah. I'm in the hospital. I'll call them right then and there. I'll FaceTime them on Instagram, and I'm talking to them right then and there, going, dude, you're going to be all right. Let me, or tell me what's going on. Let me hear what's going on. And they'll tell me their story. And just that alone can help them a lot, and it helps me a lot as well. Immensely.
What about Danny? Have you ever gone through something where you needed somebody else's comfort, conversation, or have you had it to where somebody has come to you for comfort and conversation?
I mean, I've had both. I have a lot of friends, a lot of brothers that will come to me when they're dealing with some things, because they know I've been through a lot. And even if I haven't been through it, I'm usually pretty good at helping them decipher what's going on. Me personally, yeah, when I was dealing with my anxiety and depression stuff, all that about, yeah, I had a lot of people that, I would go to and talk to about it, and kind of help me get through it. As far as, anybody that I know of ever going through having a limb amputated or anything like that, thankfully, God bless all of my people. Nobody has ever had to go through that. The only person in my life now that has is Mike Ball. And, I've said it before, and I'm going to continue to say it forever, is watching what Mike Ball went through after the fact and listening to his story and what he's had to say about it and how positive he was through it and still is I mean, it's just, it's incredible, you know, and I love how positive he is about it, and I love the fact that, you know, he will go out of his way to help people that are going through it as we speak. You know, that's a I believe that that's just a trait that not many people can pull off. So it's really cool that other amputees have somebody like him that can literally talk them through the whole process, the whole thing. You know, when they're having nerve pain, he's had it. It's not like one of us going, "Oh man, dude, that sucks." Yeah, man, I broke a nail once, but you can't compare it. You know, Mike has been through it, so he's gonna tell you what you feel before you even feel it. You know, and it's awesome that he helped this man, Mark. You know, much love and respect to you, Mark. God bless you. And yeah, man, I personally haven't gone through that, thankfully. Thankfully.
Do you think do you think it's a real quick, Mike, do you think it's a mindset, China, that somebody has to persevere? Is it them acting on their own will, or do you need somebody there?
I think it helps to have a good support system. And it doesn't matter if it's family, if it's a friend. It's like, I mean, Mark and Mike, complete strangers. You just need to have somebody there on your side. And I've watched Mark's progress through his TikTok videos, going from not having his prosthetic to having it, walking with a cane. Now he can go short distances without his cane. And he has gotten so far in such a short period of time. And it's because I think he's got a very good support system. I mean, if he needs to, he's got, you know, Mike he can reach out to. I keep in touch with him, TikTok message. I message him every now and again. I comment on his videos, and I think he's done really good. And I think you got to have the right mind frame. And like I said, you have to have a support system of some kind. So Mark, good for you. I'm glad we got you to meet each other, and much love. Keep pushing on.
Absolutely. Facts.
Definitely.
Well, I want to first of all thank you, Danny, for that. I'm honored for you even mentioning that. Yes, it really does. It comes down to your support system. I've been told I'm wrong on this by even my own support system. They're like, you know, you're the one that decided to put in the work. And it's like, no, at the same time, we decided to go through this together. You know, you could have easily ditched me too, you know? Having a support system is very, and it doesn't have to be family. You know, it can be your brotherhood. It could be your friends. It could be your whoever, you know? It doesn't have to be immediate family, but also at the same time, I also want to point out the fact that you can't really compare one disability to the other, and you can't also relate or try to compare one mind state to the other. That's what's really hard, because you can't ever determine how much that hurt that person, you know, and certain things can hurt people more than, you know, for instance, I could take a flu better, you know, not really, but it feels like I could take a flu better than losing a limb, you know, but, or I could take the limb losing better than getting a flu. So it just depends on the person, I guess, too. It's overall, anybody that's gone through anything traumatic, and it could be down to extreme alcoholism, drug abuse, it could be anything. And that's why I love this subject, because we can all kind of relate to it, whether it be a death, a sudden death in the family, or anything like that. These are things that a lot of us can relate to. And that's why I think having this segment is very important to have.
Rock on.
What's good, everybody? I'm Danny Dilo from Danny Dilo Biker TV. Check me out every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time on BCAM Podcast. Peace. What's good, everybody? I'm Danny D'Lo from Danny D'Lo Biker TV. You can also find me on Instagram, Danny.D.Low, and that's about my platform. Today's subject I wanted to talk about was the Roe versus Wade. Um, I think it's something that not a lot of people have been talking about much as far as making abortion illegal, and kind of wanted to get everybody's thoughts, starting with China Dow.
Oh, come on.
Boom,
Wow.
pow, ping.
This is what happens when I have no clue what you're going to say.
See, hey, I tried.
Oh, Roe versus Wade. Okay, well, here's my first example. If abortions were legal in 1973, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. To be honest with you, because that's what I was told when I met my biological mother. So, my thing with abortion is it's a woman's body, a woman's choice. I'm just going to be flat up. It is their body. It is their choice. If they choose to do what they want to do, what's better for them, then they should have the right to choose that. They shouldn't have to go and 3 states over to have it done, which is what's going on now. It's stupid. I think they should have every choice possible and every option possible, that if that's what they want, they should be able to get it done.
What's your thought about government interference?
Government needs to stay out of our social media. They need to stay out of a woman's body. They need to stay out of everybody's personal vendettas. I mean, come on, stay away. Stay out. I mean, it's like they're banning apps. They're banning apps. They're telling you can't have an abortion. They're telling you do not have freedom of speech. They're telling you can't have a gun. Stay out of everybody's lives. Do what you got to do and run this country, and leave the people alone. We should have the right to choose whatever we choose.
No, it's right.
That's the way I look at it. You know, I hate the fact, I'm not gonna, I'm not saying I'm for abortion or against it. I'm in the middle. I'm pro-choice, obviously. Like you're a woman, that's up to you. Or, maybe the man's involved, whatever. That's your guys' decision. But I am completely 110% against the government being involved in our lives in any fashion, any fashion at all. They shouldn't be involved in our medical. They shouldn't be involved in our pharmaceutical. They shouldn't be involved in our lives like that. It's not right.
If the government's involved in our medical, then they need to pay our medical bills.
Exactly.
Well, the government's just butt in everywhere they possibly could at this point.
Well, yeah. This country isn't free anymore. That's what people don't understand.
Anytime they can get a dime, they're gonna do it. And this goes for this exact topic.
Yep. That's why I brought that topic up, because I mean, the government saying that it's illegal for a woman to make a choice about her body is no different than people in Iraq oppressing women and stuff like that, which, we've heard people in our country say, well, that's why we went there to help, with that problem. But we're doing the same thing here. Why is it okay that we do it here in this country, but when another country does it, oh no, that's not right. We need to go over there and free them. It's like there ain't nothing about this country free. Absolutely nothing. Very few things. And it's getting worse. Especially
getting the gas money to drive 3 states over to do it too, and then drive 3 states back.
Well, that's the thing. I was talking about this at a bonfire the other night. A really good friend of mine, Katie, shout out to my girl, Katie. What's up? We're sitting down there talking, and she's a nurse and she delivers babies. And she told me a story, like literally just a couple of days ago. A 43-year-old woman gave birth to a child, and it was born with Down syndrome. And the lady pretty much said, she knew that this was happening, way before the actual, birth time. And had she been given the opportunity, she probably wouldn't have went through it. Now, everybody can have an opinion on that, and that is what it is. But she shouldn't have had to worry about that. There was another woman that just had a baby 5 or 6 days ago at the same hospital The baby was born with a half a brain. They knew the baby wasn't going to survive. They knew the baby was going to be dead within minutes, if not long, a little longer after birth. And this poor woman, this poor family, had to give birth to this baby knowing that they're just going to sit there and wait for it to pass away so that they can give it a funeral. That's just not right. Like,
that's about the saddest thing I've heard.
It's
You know
it's
what I
super
mean?
sad,
Like-
and there's
like-
so many
like
more
just like
people
that.
out there that are going through that, and it's like, how can you say that that's right? You're telling me that that lady should have had that baby? Come on, man! It was never a baby technically, you know, and it's
Yeah,
just it's
rough.
horrible, man.
What I think, Danny, on this is we got the extremists on the left and we
Yep.
got extremists on the right, and nobody's down the middle anymore. You know, let me correct myself. Everybody in America is down the middle. Everybody has common sense, but like the right, as soon as it went back to states' rights and stuff like that, they wanted to ban all abortion and stuff like that. The
Mhm.
left, they want to ban all guns and all that kind of stuff. You have to go down the middle, and you really do got to leave it up to the woman, I believe. Even though I'm pro-life, I don't believe in it. It still comes down to the woman's responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Mike,
I
your opinion?
No, it is a fact. It's
Anybody?
It's an absolute fact. I agree that the government needs to stay out of this topic specifically. They need to just make it, theoretically, in my opinion, in the states at least, it needs to just be legal across the board. You know, they need to be able to, in a situation, especially like how Danny just brought up, they need to look at special situations, especially, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, man. And you know, there's so many more reasons why, but we don't need to get into all of them. But yeah, you know, and I respect anybody who is pro-life, pro-choice. You know, I respect everybody on that level. But one thing I'll never respect is the government being involved in anything. You know, they just shouldn't be, and that's exactly why we have the topic we have tonight. That's the exact reason why, is because the government does not need to be involved in our lives. And sometimes you need to stand up and let it be known.
How is it for you, China Dow? How is it as a woman? Now, I got to admit, you women deal with some heinous stuff from us men. But how is it?
Especially Hollywood.
Yeah, especially me. How is it for you to have to deal with somebody who says, you can't do this, you can't do that, even though it's your body?
Well, like I said, unless the government's paying all my medical bills, which they're not, then they shouldn't tell me what I can and cannot do. This is my body, and if they're it and me personally, I personally would not have an abortion. That's just my personal preference. But if I do have a friend of mine that had one, and it was the best choice that she made for herself. I know some people that have had them because they found out that their child was going to be born with special needs that they could not financially handle, and they did what they had to do, and that was their choice. Yes, there's adoption, take it from somebody that was, but it's hard to go through that, and I personally don't know how it would be to hand your child over to someone else once you've carried that baby for 9 months. Or like Danny's story, that would, me as a female, if I was to know that my child was going to be born and not be fully functional, like be born with half a brain, which basically that is a child that's being born to die, that would kill me. I don't honestly know if I could ever get over something like that. God bless that woman that had that child. But let me tell you, me personally, I don't know how I would be able to ever get over something like that as a female. And the government does need to stay out of our lives and let us choose the way we choose best.
Well, I think here's a good question for the panel, Danny. What about those incidents? Those are terrible ones and stuff, and I agree with that. But what about women that use abortion as
Birth control.
birth control.
That's what the after the day after pill's for, the morning after pill.
You know, that's no matter how you go about that subject, it's always going to be touchy. I think just across the board, plain and simple, it should be their choice. But maybe that's one of those incidences that okay, let's keep it real for a second, everyone. A girl that has 3 or 4 more abortions, I'll show you a girl that's on food share or some type of government assistance. If she's on that and you've had a couple of abortions and you've already got a couple of kids and you're taking advantage of the system at that point, then maybe that is a time that the government should step in. Maybe. But still, I mean, if that's her choice and she's willing to live with that crappy choice, then that's on her. Who am I to say anything about it? I'm a firm believer, mind your business. I mean, that's something you learn very quickly living in Chicago or any big inner city. Mind your business. It's not my problem what she's doing. As far as I'm concerned, absolutely nobody has ever gotten like more than one abortion that I don't know. And you know why I can say that? Because I don't know. So it's not my concern. That's just the way I see it. What people do in that building is that's on them. It's not on me. It's not up for debate for me.
Marco brings up a good question. What about the guy not having any say in the abortion? That's messed up.
Finally, somebody brings that up.
That was something that I was going to talk about is what about when a man gets with a woman and then she wants to keep the child and he does not. You know what I mean? Well, then should he be able to sign over and say, I'm not going to, give you any alimony. I'm not going to give you any child support. Should there be that,
No.
Included or not? Because it seems like it is pretty messed up that, let's just say, or the reverse, the woman does want to have the actual abortion and the man does not. And he has a full, like he wants to have that child. And she goes, nope, boom, pulls the plug. These are the reasons why the government did step in. And it was because of also people, not just because of it's a heated topic, but also because it was a form of birth control too. And people see it, and I don't necessarily agree with that, obviously, but it's, again, I don't pay attention to other people's lives. I pay attention to my own life and my own local governments, my own local stuff. I don't really need to focus on the rest of what everyone else is doing.
What do you think, China?
Do I think that the man should have a choice?
Big question for the female. And I think Danny would ask this too.
I think Marco's probably going to get mad at me. Much love, Marco, but I'm sorry. I don't think he should have a choice. I'm just going to put myself in the situation. It's my body. I don't care what you want. If I know we can't financially do this, it's not happening. Sorry.
Damn, Danny, what do you think of that one?
That's a rough one.
That is rough.
I personally,
and I understand that. I understand that.
I personally know a girl that got pregnant and she did not want to have, and she was married. Not going to lie. She was married. Did not want to have any more kids with that man. They already had one that they barely could support. She went behind his back and got an abortion and said she miscarried.
Oh, see, that's a rough one for me personally. Not to bring up my own life too much here, but that's a touchy subject for me because I was involved in a a similar situation. I was with a woman many years ago, and supposedly she got pregnant. I wasn't sure if it was mine or not, but I'm a bit of an old school dude. I was like, well, if you're pregnant, me and you need to figure ourselves out, and you know, we're gonna get married and do the whole thing. You know, because I'm just not big on, nothing against separate parents and all that, but that's not how I was raised. And she ended up going ahead and getting the baby aborted and didn't tell me nothing. The only reason why it didn't affect me too bad was because I never did know if it really was mine or not, you know. Um, in situations like that, I think, and I get where women think it's their choice, but at the same time, it's not just your baby at that point. You are
True.
going through everything, but it's not just your baby. It's not just your life. And if that man wants to have that baby, I think there should be a way where a man can immediately get paperwork started on that woman stating that we're going to go to court over this and you are not able to do something like that because I want the baby. Now, the way I see it, and this works for both sides. Okay, you don't want the baby, so now you figure out, all right, she doesn't want the baby, but the guy does. Okay, so you take full responsibility and you take the baby. You write her off, and that's it. She's got no legal obligations to that baby. You know, and same for, you know, if roles are reversed, you know, the other half should be able to write it off, and that's it. I mean, it sucks that the woman's still got to go through that birth, but that's the way it should be, in my opinion.
But at the same time, wouldn't that be the government telling her what to do with her body, but in a different circumstances? Now another man's telling her what to do.
I mean, I think if
It's
the
hard.
two, I think
It
if the
is.
two, I think if the couple are grown adults and can actually sit down and have a decent conversation about, hey, we need to think about the pros and the cons. We just found out we're like 6 weeks pregnant. They need to be able to sit down and have a discussion about what should be done.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time I've seen people that have come to an agreement that, yeah, this is the right thing to do. But then, yeah, there's the other side of the coin where like one wants it, the other one doesn't. Then my question is if you keep it, is that man going to stick around? Then it's the government's issue because, you know, majority, I'm not saying all, but majority of the people will just go straight to the government to get assistance for that child.
No.
Yep.
Nice lead up to the next
I'ma do
segment.
shit my way, so you can go kick rocks. I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.
Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay.
Still
Yeah.
mean it all.
That was a kick-ass segment right there. But one that Danny and Mike came up with, the real meaning of insurrection. And this one's a huge one because it seems like everybody continues to talk about January 6th. And Mike wanted to do a comparison between the January 6th ones compared to what's going on in France right now.
Yeah, it's amazing how, and I'm not going to name any company names here, but it's amazing how the French have actually shown that they literally went into the headquarters of the leading investing company of the entire world and took over the building. And it wasn't just them; they're doing it kind of all across France because of other issues regarding their social issues, the retirement age. But there's definitely more that's involved than just retirement age. It's definitely political behind the scenes as well. And if you look at all the big issues that's going on, it always leads back to the first two investors of the world. If you look at the two head investors, and it's like, we should be condemning those people that are, if you look at those videos that they're taking back over their country, it looks like they're actually like trying to take back what's rightfully theirs. You actually see the cops laying down their batons and going, I quit right here. You know, we agree with you guys. Like, and then we get this comparison that we look at January 6th and we're like, oh, it's so violent. What do you mean it's so violent? This is a place that we should be able to go to anyways. These are public areas. We should be able to go into these offices, you know, and we should be able to show protest if we need. You know, this is ran by the people, for the people. It's not the elitist running it, which it really is. That's what we're talking about, the two, you know, main companies that invest into this entire world. But those are the people that I'm just saying France and the French people should be looked at and be kind of like being going like, all right, maybe we should take a note out of their book on this one.
You think that's where we're at, Danny? We're and this would be a China Dolls question too. Do you think we're at the point of a true insurrection, civil war coming to this country?
No. And the reason why I don't think it'll happen is because we have way too many weak-minded people in this country. We have way more followers in this country than we do leaders. I mean, look at January 6th. If you really think about it, January 6th was literally televised proof in the pudding that we are not a free country. Because what happened that day is exactly what a free country should be able to do. We are sick and tired of your tyranny, and we're coming in that building to have a chat with you. But the minute that they did that, they're being arrested and everything else afterwards. You know, a lot of people were against what happened there. I mean, on both sides of the fence and all sides of the fence, people were against it. Like, oh, that was horrible. I can't believe they did that. And it's like, that is what this country allegedly, supposedly was built on. That when we see tyranny, when we see people that are trying to overrun our lives, we get up and stand up and we do something about it. And the minute we did, now you're going to jail. So that was literally proof this is not a free country, not even close to it. The amendments that we supposedly have, the Bill of Rights that we supposedly have, it is all ghosted by man-made laws against every single one of them. Case in point, I'm a felon. I get caught carrying a gun. Protecting myself is a human right in this country, supposedly. I go to jail automatically. That's not a right. You took my right away, and I'm sure you're going to have the small-minded people in the comments that are going to say, well, you gave your right away when you went to jail and broke the law. First of all, who hasn't broke the law in their life? I mean, come on, if you haven't broke at least a little law in your life, then you haven't lived your life. Let's be honest. You break a law every day. Secondly, a God-given right by this country, by the forefathers who built this country, allegedly, are the ones who wrote that amendment, that bill, that right that I supposedly have. So according to law, when I was born in America, I was born with this God-given right. So a man-made law should not be able to take that right away. So, I mean, it was literally proof of it. China doll.
Wow. I actually agree with Danny, like 100%. It's like, it showed so much proof that you try to stand up for what you believe in and you're going to go to jail. I mean, even peaceful protests, when the cops make it bigger than what it is, and next thing you know it, you're getting thrown to the ground, mace, pepper sprayed, whatever, you're going to jail. When all you're trying to do is stand up for what you believe in. It's like, we don't even have the right to do that anymore. And that means, okay, so what does the First Amendment say? Oh, I guess that doesn't exist in the U.S.
Yep.
We don't have that right. We can't speak our mind freely. We have absolutely, you got to listen to what they tell you, what they tell you. Okay, but it says freedom of speech. Oh, wait, no,
Yeah,
the
right.
government says I can't do that now.
Well, you
Sorry.
got a great point to Mike. Who this issue of misinformation? Who has the right to define what misinformation is? And if it don't agree with their position, then you're silenced. And this has been proven through the Biden White House's interaction with all the social media stuff. Where did the First Amendment go? And why are people just sitting back, not doing nothing about it?
The First Amendment's gone because the Second Amendment's been touched so much. That's why I personally believe it. You know how Danny's point too when he was saying about how if he gets caught with a firearm because he's a felon. Well, in my opinion, if you did your time, you should be able to come out and get your rights back. I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to, unless it's like some serious, like you murdered somebody. I understand things like this of violent
Right.
nature. I get it.
Yeah, obviously there would be stipulations.
Yeah, but it's like, come on, man. Like for the most part, like what, a guy going to jail for selling weed, you know what I mean? Like that guy can't have a gun 40 years later down the line, you know? It says the Second Amendment shall not be infringed.
Yep.
Like, and like meanwhile over here in California, they're trying to tell you how many rounds you can have in each magazine. They're telling you what you can have on the end of your rifle. They're telling you what you can have on the butt end of it. They're trying to tell you how you can shoot it, the way you can hold it. You can't have a pistol grip now. You got to have a stock and all this, nonsense. I think that if you mess with the Second Amendment so much and you weaken us so much, that our First Amendment's going to fall, because it's not just the freedom of speech, it's also the freedom of assembly. So that's also a big part of the reason why you see a lot of our legal organizations falling down.
Well, that goes
I think that's the goal, really, is take our gun rights away so nobody can have guns. And eventually now they can just completely take over. There's nothing you can do.
You can't fight back.
No, that's what they would like to think anyway.
You can't defend yourself anymore
Well,
because they're taking
when you want to talk gun laws, look at Chicago. They're not going to work anywhere. They're not going to work anywhere else either. So go ahead and take your gun rights away. That just means now we're all outlaws. Welcome to the dark side.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, China. Now he just brought up a good point about being a felon in possession of a gun. A lot of these states, and we talked about that in the previous segments about Roe versus Wade, making it illegal for abortion. So now you're making a felon out of a woman getting an abortion. Now all her rights are taken back.
Well, as far as because I was reading Brooklyn Biker said that he thinks ex-cons should have their rights back. And I agree to that to a point. I think it depends on the crime that was initially committed.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I mean, if you're getting busted for drugs, okay, come on. They should be able to get their rights back. If you a nasty pedo, I hope you don't make it out of jail. And if you did kill someone, of course there's exceptions, like Danny said too. There's exceptions to the rule. But it's like, I mean, if you did your time, and somebody else put in there, you did your time and paid your dues, then you should be able to get your rights back. Exactly. I get it. And I believe Danny even said, there might be a time limit or something like that. But I think in due time, like with Danny, he should be able to carry if he needs to carry, because we all need to be able to protect ourselves in this day and age. It's ridiculous out there. You can't even go out anywhere without having to worry what's coming over your shoulder.
And I think
go ahead.
Sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The one thing that I've mentioned before when I've talked about this is I've always given hey, how about this? If it's a nonviolent crime and you have been out of trouble, out of court, you're paying taxes, you're working, you have your own business, whatever you're doing, the point is you're out of trouble, you're out of the limelight completely. If it's a nonviolent crime like drugs or something, after 5 years, you should be able to get all your rights reinstored. After 10 years, your record should be completely clear after that, as long as you stay out of trouble. You know, if it's a violent crime, even, you know, mine was a violent crime. You know, I can legally talk about my stuff. I was involved in a shooting, let's just say that, and I had drugs on me when I got caught. That's 21 years ago. I still have to, I believe, go through the court system to get a passport. Just up until recently, I was given the right, which I think is hilarious, by the way. I was given my right back to vote, which I will never in my lifetime ever vote. Why would I vote for anybody who took a God given right away from me? So I would never vote. There's so many things, you know, it holds you back as far as your career, a job, you know, all these things. There should be a time limit. You know, like I said, after 5 nonviolent, you're cool. After 10 years, you're all good. If it's a violent crime, after 10 years, you're good. After 20 years, your record's gone. Like, give people a chance. Give people something to work for. But the system has always been built to keep you in it. And that's why I'm so proud of myself. That's the one and only thing I am very proud of. And that's why I proudly talk about my situation and my life the way I do. As it's been 21 years this year, this August 26th, 2023. It will be 21 years since I've been released from prison. And that to me is my way of winning against the government, because they wanted to keep me in the system just like they want to keep every prisoner in the system, which is why they make these BS laws to put people in jail to take their rights away. And I beat them. I have beat them for 21 years. They never got to put me back in the joint. So that's why I'm proud to talk about it and proud of myself with it. But that's what the system is. It's built to keep you in there because they make money off of us. We're just a number to them, you know, and it's, we can go on and on and on, but that's just my my story of it.
Well, this country was built on insurrection, and through the years, we've practiced insurrection. Mike, when do you think that boiling point's going to come where it's acceptable?
I think we may even be there now. We may even be there now. I would just look at history repeats itself. You know, this kind of stuff. I mean, if you look at America as a whole, it's really a very young country compared to the rest of the world. You know, yeah, America came in hot, swinging, and yeah, we're the strongest country in the world. But unless we, as people, kind of band together and say this isn't right, I think it's going to be a pretty bummer sailing ship from here on out. I don't know. We'll see how this is all going to boil over for everyone.
What's your concern as a mother and a grandmother?
As far as
a potential civil war, insurrection? Because it seems like this civil war ain't going to be like the North versus South. This is going to be blue states against red states.
And it should never come down to that. It really shouldn't, because it shouldn't matter. And I don't know how many times I've said it, and I know you guys have said it too. It shouldn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, white, black, green, yellow. It shouldn't matter. This country needs to stand together as a whole to fight against the government and how wrong they are doing the people of this country. I mean, flat out. We shouldn't be fighting against each other. We should be going against them.
Isn't that what they want from us, Danny? Is us to fight each other, and we're falling for it?
Oh yeah, that's always been it. I mean, it's always, you know, they've always played the white versus black card, you know, and it seemed like it wasn't working to their advantage as much as they really wanted it. So now they started playing the red versus blue card, you know, and now they're playing both. And the reason why I say that I don't think we'll ever get to the point where we're actually in a real civil war. I mean, I think we're in a process of it at this point, but it actually happening, I'm not sure about, only because no matter what, like I said, you're always going to have the weak-minded following dingbats that will be against it, because they've been taught through our school systems and everything by our government not to lead, not to stand up for yourself. They've been taught to follow your leader. You know what I mean? Follow your government. Your government is looking out for your best interest. Now, those of us that grew up right, we know better. The government has never had our best interest in mind, not even from the very beginning have they ever had the best interest in mind. So I don't think we'll get to that point, only because the minute that, it's so diverse at this point that it's not repairable. It's a losing cause to try to mend those fences and get all of us together as a whole country, because you're always going to have those weak-minded people that are going to be like, oh no, that's not right. January 6th shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have walked into our White House and took it over. Which, by the way, I will say, the people that were involved in that did it all wrong. I mean, they went in there and just vandalized and just acted like the BLM idiots. They didn't actually do anything correctly.
I do agree
You know
with
what I'm
that.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
But, so that's the only thing I will say I was against. Like, you should have walked in there. You should have actually got the people you said you were wanting to go get, and you should have did something. You should have hung them all up in front of the White House. That's the way I think, but I'm a violent natured person.
What about Mike and Danny and China about this point? Go around the table. The boiling point will come when one identifiable group of people are getting the bill to pay the freight of the lies that vilified them. That's from William. Go ahead, Mike. You first.
I think we're already there. We've already done that, haven't we? I mean, haven't we already been paying bills of identifiable groups for decades now? Haven't we been doing that already? I mean, I think that's something that's already been happening within this the states for so long. And I mean, I don't even need to point out the Indians, right? That's why they were given all the reserves and all the rights and the stuff they were given, even though it's very little nowadays. I get it. You can sit there and argue that point too. But nonetheless, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think all identifiable groups are getting the bill. And I think to be honest, right now, the white man's not really allowed to say anything or do anything right at this point. And if he has anything to say or anything, he's wrong automatically. So there's many points that you can come to with this one. So this one's hard to answer.
Well, with this one, me and China are going to be talking later on this week on the morning show. China, just give your initial thoughts, because we're going to be talking about California, Mike's home state there, about reparations, and that's where William's going with this one.
Well, what do you want me to say?
Your thoughts on it?
My thoughts on it? I don't know. That's a big word.
You had to go and bring that up, Hollywood.
Hey, I'm just doing a promo for the Madhouse, man. I didn't bring it up. William brought it up, not me.
Thanks, William.
I think I'm going to pass that on to Danny.
Oh, thanks a lot, China.
You're welcome.
I'm going to say exactly what I did not want to say. I'm part Native. So allow me to say, the black people who want their reparations, sit your ass down, because the Indians get it first. And if I hurt your feelings with that, good. I'm glad. Thanks a lot, guys. Now I'm canceled. But all joking aside, I get, as a Native American, I get where black folks are coming from. And I don't mean to sound like that guy, but I know people of all different flavors, man. And I get along with everybody. But that's truly how I feel about it, man. I'm a little tired of hearing one race being brought up and everything. There's many races, many cultures that have been done wrong by not the white man, but the European man, the country. And I'm not going to sit here and say get over it like most, because, you know, when your culture gets murdered, gets raped, we're slaves. Believe it or not, I can relate to black folks on that level because of being part Native, that sometimes I feel that sadness come about me. And sometimes it's not even explainable. And I never really understood it until I talked to full Native people in my culture that explained some things to me. So I understand not the hatred, but the, you know, being mad about stuff. I get that. But you still have a country to go back home to. My people don't. Our country was taken from us. And now we pay taxes to live here on the very property that we already owned. So yeah, that's where I get at that point where I'm like, you know what? If you really feel that way and you really don't like what's happened, and I totally understand it, and you don't like this country because of it, we're about to get real and raw and keep it 100. Get your ass out. You know what I'm saying? You still have a country to go back home to. You should be happy for that. That's what I got to say. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll leave now.
You're welcome.
William, I'm going to get the last word on this one. You put in caps, we owe the Native nations big time. The Indians had honor and discipline, and they did. But we won the war, is what it is.
Hey, we got real guns now, Hollywood. Don't play.
we won the war. It's happened throughout human history. The good book even talks about slavery and I'm going to go more into this on the Madhouse. I'm not.
But did you really win the war, though? I mean, think about it. Did you really win the war? Because we have all the casinos and we don't pay y'all nothing. Did you really win? I mean, we had to lose a couple people, but we kind of run our shit now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you guys.
And guess what? You white men, you love our casinos. Thank you.
I've attended many times.
I love your squaw. I love your squaws better than a casino. But anyway, that was an awesome show, man. I'm really happy.
We're gonna have to edit about a half hour of this right out. Oh, this one ain't making the podcast. Nope.
Leave it in.
Hey, blame William on this one, man. But
I don't
anyway,
know who you are, William, but screw you.
William said to tell you you're welcome, Danny. Still gonna buy you a drink sometime.
It's gonna happen.
Right on. Appreciate it.
Danny, you don't like getting this controversial stuff. He sweats and stuff like that.
Man, you know, because I got everybody that watches me, man. You know, all colors, all shades, all spectrums, man. And when you start talking about how you really feel, man, it changes some attitudes, man. You know? There's some things we're better off not knowing about each other. That's what I try to get at all the time. Because there's some black folks that heard "sit your ass down." They were like, "Oh!" They didn't even hear the rest of it. They just BLM. They're chanting at their phone right now. But honestly, the BLM people, those are the people that I could care less about anyway. So they're not black folks. They're pretty much all white idiots.
They're all white guys. Guys.
Well, we know where William's coming from. He said, "Just call me a kraut."
Oh, Jesus.
God, you gotta love our people, man.
I love everybody. They're awesome.
Oh my goodness. Well, that is the BCAN podcast for today. It's our third episode. Don't forget, you can always watch it right here on the BCAN podcast YouTube channel, the Morning Madhouse channel. Danny Delos, and we're really excited about getting this sucker really going out there, having fun like we did today, making Danny sweat and all that good stuff. But we'll be talking about me and China Doll, not tomorrow, but the next day we'll talk about reparations. See how much
I'm gonna be all up in that chat room too. Watch.
Me too.
I'll talk about Indians, all of them, man. I have no shame.
Oh, hey, bro.
No shit.
Ooh, don't be starting no stuff, bro. I'll get my feathers out.
I heard. Hey, you know what? I heard squaws have tiny feet, though. But anyway,
they do. Just say.
you all
They're
have
so
a
cute.
and I hope you guys enjoy us. 2 more episodes after
Peace
this.
out, everybody.
We'll be on Spotify, iTunes, all of it, with 5 episodes that you can hear. Then we'll be on weekly after that.
Join
Rock
us
on,
for the
baby.
Beat Can
guys are
Podcast
awesome
live
out
every
there.
Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. No subject is off limits, and get knowledge you can't get